Oh man. Now it is time for the top 5 segment.
Yes.
As we talked about before, our podcast producer, and shout out to Jason, has just been killing it with the top 5 segments recently. He's got like the next 4,000 years planned out.
Yeah,
and ready to go. And man, like, damn you, because they're so hard.
Yes, but I've got my 10-gallon hat and my 6-shooter good to go for this one.
Bang, bada, bang, 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 bang.
Can you guess what it is?
Yeah.
Westerns.
Top 5 Westerns. So super excited. There's so many good ones out there, and after seeing the top 5 category come out, I went back and watched some of them, and damn, they're just so good.
They are good.
So good. My number 5 is Ned Kelly. Not a lot of people know about this one. Heath Ledger, Orlando Bloom over in either Australia or Ireland, one of the two. And freaking, it's basically this family who accidentally becomes bank robbers and kind of just fall into the life. But it's just so damn good. I mean, Orlando Bloom and Heath Ledger. That's enough for you right there. Be sure to check that one out. Honestly, one of my best that I've ever seen. Best Westerns that I've ever seen, obviously, because it's made my list. But yes, I mean, of course, I was going to put a certain film, franchise of films on mine, but we'll get to that later once because it's on yours.
Butterfly.
Yeah.
That's a little tease.
Yeah, right.
All right. Number 5 for me, True Grit. The original and the reboot.
Yeah.
I'm specifically talking about the reboot, but with Haley Steinfeld and, just brilliant film. Matt Damon and Jeff Bridges. But yeah, basically about this girl whose family is killed. She goes and gets this old gun shooter, to come and avenge the death. Just brilliant. I thought the original with John Wayne was fantastic. And normally True Grit's like one of the most epic, all-time beloved Westerns of all time, right?
Yeah.
And it's the Duke. So should you remake that? And people were like, eh. But the remake was actually really fucking good.
Yeah.
And Haley won an Oscar. So that should tell you how good it is. So yeah, True Grit. Number 5 for me.
Definitely. Number 4 for me, I'm sure a lot of people, I might get a lot of slack from this because it's just a hilarious movie and I love both of these actors. But I'm talking about Shanghai Noon with Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson. It was just absolutely hilarious and just the story was so good. And I mean, John Wayne, so his name was John Wayne. And freaking Cowboy by Kid Rock was in it and like the song was in it. And I mean, just so good, man. The dynamic between Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson was just, it made the movie. And I mean, of course, they did Shanghai Nights, the sequel, which, whatever. But Shanghai Noon, definitely one that you should see. It's a very family-friendly movie, so be sure to check that out. But I think Jackie Chan just works so well with anybody.
I do too.
Like,
just bring him over and put him in any kind of a movie and he nails it.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, even Jennifer Love Hewitt with the tuxedo.
Yeah.
Like that
was a good movie because of Jackie Chan.
It's true. Like, you can literally just plop him in any type of a movie and he's good to go. I mean, that guy's great. My number 4, and I referenced this with my duos, on-screen duos, in a couple of weeks ago with the top 5. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Yeah.
Guys, Paul Newman and Robert Redford, Western. Enough said.
Right.
How can you not love that movie? Honestly, really one of the greatest Westerns of all time. About 2 of the coolest guys ever in the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Boom.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Right there. My number 3 goes to Django Unchained. I'm talking about Quentin Tarantino's version with Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio. Freaking so many good people in this film. And some of the best performances in this film because, like, and I'm not sure a lot of people know, Leonardo DiCaprio really busted his hand on that glass and was completely bloody and wiped his real blood on that lady's face. And I mean, to stay in character like she did was absolutely amazing. But of course, everybody knows how Quentin Tarantino movies go. So much dialogue to lead up to such an amazing, badass, epic, over-the-top violent scene, and man, did this film deliver, especially with Jamie Foxx as the lead character. Like, it was so damn good. If you haven't checked out Django Unchained, definitely check it out. One of Quentin's best, in my opinion.
Agreed. And Jamie Foxx is killing it also, man. He's severely underrated as well.
He is.
Number 3. This is what he was talking about. Number 3.
Yeah.
Young Guns.
Yep.
/ Young Guns 2. Because it's really just one long ass movie if you really think about
Yeah.
it. But yeah, how can that not be on the list?
So good.
I mean, you got the Sheen brothers, Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen, right? You got Lou Diamond Phillips. I mean, come on, guys. Kiefer Sutherland, Butterfly.
Yeah.
Like that scene alone is when they're in the desert and they're drunk and the heat and like all that kind of stuff.
Coyote, bro.
Coyote
Yeah.
and like just all of that. But I just honestly think Emilio Estevez as Billy the Kid was about as perfect casting as you could get.
Yeah.
And I just really, really think this is just a brilliant telling of one of the most famous Western stories ever,
Yeah.
Billy the Kid. It leaves open to interpretation. Did he die? Did he not? Is he alive? Is that really him? Just the whole thing. You know, they did do a little, recast William Peterson, with who shot Billy, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I can overlook that. I still think it's just brilliant. And John Bon Jovi with the soundtrack.
So good.
So good.
Second one was so good.
If you guys haven't seen the Young Guns franchise, what the fuck are you waiting for?
Yeah, seriously.
Go watch them. They are brilliant. And you can find them damn near everywhere. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both on Hulu right now. I just watched the first one the other day.
So good.
So damn good. My number 2 goes to 3:10 to Yuma, the remake, because I haven't seen the original. But Russell Crowe, Christian Bale, fucking, what's his name? Logan something? Logan Lerman? Is that him?
Logan Lerman.
Yeah, young Logan Lerman. Like, such a good freaking movie, man. Russell Crowe as a cowboy is absolutely badass. I'm just saying it right there, and him as that character. And by the way, we have visited most of the sets that were in that movie 3:10 to Yuma. Just name dropping that right there.
That's right.
Yeah, just such a good movie, man. I loved like the dynamic between those two characters and those two actors as well, especially them building like their friendship throughout the whole movie. Even though one guy is supposed to be bringing another guy to jail, and because he needs money, but at the end of the day, like, he saved his life. The convict saved the guy's life and fucking, like, still went to jail. Even though he broke out. Like,
Yeah.
you saw the horse at the end fucking help him. But, such a good movie, man. Such a good interpretation of this classic.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things about this movie, above and beyond the obviously phenomenal performances by the ridiculously awesome cast, is the cinematography.
Yeah.
They used an old trick that was done in 12 Angry Men. You remember that about the jury and everything? They did this, the scene in the hotel room where time is running out and he's got to get to the train, and the intensity and the drama of where they keep, every time they show, it closes in and closes in and closes in, tighter shot, and just you feel like you're in that room and you're there and you're just like, oh. So from a filmmaking standpoint, just brilliant.
Yeah.
You guys should definitely check it. Good on the list, man, because that's a great film.
It is.
Number 2 for me. I had a hard time between this one for number 1 or number 2, but I went with number 2. Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, Unforgiven.
Oof.
Guys, it's probably the all-time best, and Jesus, he's done how many?
Right.
But it's probably the all-time best, in my opinion, Clint Eastwood Western.
Yeah.
It is the epitome of the perfect Western film, I think. The performances are absolutely phenomenal. And guys, this is one that he shelved. He literally had this script and put it in a drawer and held it for like 20 years because he knew, and then brought it out when he was older and look at it. Oscar winner. It's just, if you guys have not seen this film about it, it's basically a redemption story of an old gunslinger.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely fantastic. Check it out. Unforgiven. Like I said, Morgan Freeman and Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
So good, man. So good. Now, my number 1, taking it way back. This is definitely a film of the childhood that I watched with my grandfather because it's about a grandfather trying to get his grandson back after being kidnapped. But I'm talking about 1971's Big Jake, John Wayne. Oh my goodness, so good. Oh my goodness. I can't. There's so many different aspects and different points in my life where I went back and watched this movie and it's just like, damn, it's such a good film. And it's a film, telling the story from start to end, to where he didn't even know he had a grandson, and then he comes back after being divorced from his wife and then tracking him down and just getting him back. It's such a good film. I relate to it a lot with my grandfather and how our dynamic was. But yeah, Big Jake, if you have not seen that one, I mean, see any of John Wayne's Western movies, because how can you not? And if you're a filmmaker, how can you not watch any of those, or his war movies by that? But yes, Big Jake, definitely my number one, 1971, taking it back. And Patrick Wayne, his son, actually played his son in the movie as well. And you were talking about in the Young Guns movie, the first Pat Garrett in the first Young Guns was Patrick Wayne.
Yes.
Who was John Wayne's son.
Yeah.
So, epicness, man. It's all tied together.
It is true. It's true. Okay, so my number one, to no surprise, if you guys know me, because I reference it all the time, and like I said, I just, it was a back and forth between Unforgiven and this, but this one, because Tombstone. In my opinion, the absolute single best telling of the shootout at the OK Corral and the legend of the Earp brothers and Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
I just think it was absolutely brilliant. By far, I know Iceman is up there. It's up there. But by far, I think Val Kilmer's best performance, Doc Holliday. He just, he's my Huckleberry. He's always going to be my Huckleberry, okay? The late, great Bill Paxton, Sam Elliott, just so many, Jason Priestley, just so many different people in this film. And, of course, Kurt Russell.
Of course.
Kurt Russell, as the legendary Wyatt Earp. Guys, if you don't know the story behind this film, this thing really only came into existence because of Kurt Russell. It all fell apart. The money was gone. The director bolted. Kurt Russell basically did all of it himself to keep the film alive, to get it made, to get it done. And go read the story behind it, and you're going to be like, holy shit. And then you realize how epic the film turned out, and you're like, damn. So, yeah. Tombstone, man, just it's so good.
I know.
It's so good. And the makeup, I mean, god damn. Doc Holliday, when he's going through his tuberculosis and dying and shit, Val Kilmer just looks, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so good, y'all.
Yeah.
So good.
So many great Westerns out there. What are your favorite Westerns? We seriously want to know. Be sure to comment below in the comment sections on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening to this and or watching this on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to do those YouTube things by liking and subscribing to the video and keeping up with us and ringing that bell, because we appreciate you. But just, man, so many great Westerns out there. Great top 5 segment.